slower in the early stages of the game, but if they keep it.
Have you seen these lineup ratings they show during M7? These numbers that they show on the screen? Do they even mean anything? Maybe they're looking at past tournament data to come up with these numbers, but the meta keeps changing every new patch, so that wouldn't really be relevant. Maybe they use ranked match data, but if that's the case, it wouldn't be accurate at all. Ranked matches and pro tournaments have totally different draft and pick systems. For example, a hero like Fanny has a really low win rate and pick rate in ranked because of her high skill ceiling, but it's a completely different story in tournaments. Honestly, I don't know, maybe they just have coaches and analysts doing the math behind the scenes. I tried looking for the answers online but nothing was helpful, so that sparked an idea. What if I just make one for myself? How, you ask? Well, there are multiple MLBB websites online that have stats for heroes. Win rates, ban rates, pick rates, counters, synergies, everything. So I figured why not write a script that takes all this data, calculates the statistics and helps you come up with the best possible hero picks for your game. Essentially an AI drafter or a digital coach. And so I built it. I don't want to get too technical since most of you probably just want to see it work, but for those who care, essentially the script takes input by looking at the screen. It uses image processing to detect the live picks and bans, feeds that into the engine, and the engine spits out the best possible hero for each lane. Here's a quick example. Let's take a hero Fanny. The engine gives every hero a starting score, let's say 10 points. If they have a positive win rate, they will get points added. If they have high ban rate, it shows that the hero's meta, and if a hero's counter is banned or picked by a teammate, the hero gets extra points since now they are safer to play. But if an enemy picks the counter, they lose points. That's basically the gist of it. By doing all this math in the background, the script can show you the most optimal hero pick possible in real time. Let me just show it to you. So according to the numbers, these are apparently the best heroes in each lane to blind pick. Also, just a reminder that this suggestion model isn't perfect. It doesn't understand logic like lane, counters or any of that sort. It's just purely looking at numbers, so sometimes it might suggest heroes that don't make the most sense. I wanted to get the last pick so that I can get the best hero available, but my team wasn't showing, so I had to lock in Freya. The main problem at the moment is that because of the season reset, the engine does the math using stats from all ranks. So even Grandmaster and Epic Hero pools are matched into the calculation. We'll have to wait a few weeks for more players to reach mythical glory, and then we can filter our data using that for more efficient results. You might be thinking, won't this get you banned? Well, not exactly, since this thing is just an overlay and does not mess with any in-game files. So there's no way for the game to detect this. It can't be considered cheating either since it only gives you hero suggestions and does not interfere with gameplay at all. It just makes it more statistically likely for you to win. It still has a lot of things that still need to be fixed, like say it's probably not gonna work well in a 5-man game since it doesn't look at lane counters, which are essential when in a full 5-man lineup. The calculation to suggest heroes could also be optimized more to give better results since what I'm using at the time of this video is something I scrapped up in just a few days. I was able to get the last pick for this match and it recommended I play Leomord, which is actually a really good pick against their lineup. There are times when we just space out while playing the game and end up not thinking too much about what we pick during the draft phase. But truth is, even just one hero is enough to make all the difference. Because of such, this thing might actually come in handy during solo queue. But of course, there is the fact that you will need to know how to play almost every hero. Here's a classic example of what I was talking about. In this match, I got recommended to play Masha, while the enemy had a Sun. Although Sun does kind of win the lane against Masha, what the program sees is the fact that the combination of the heroes I have currently has a better win rate when looking at the lineup of the enemy opponent's heroes. But of course, like I already mentioned, the major downside being you can't stick to a hero pool since you'll need to keep adjusting to the hero picks and play different heroes each time, which can be quite challenging. When I first started building this drafter, I thought the ultimate big brain move would be to train the AI using data straight from pro tournaments, but I quickly realized that would actually ruin the tool for the average player. Pro matches and ranked solo queue are basically two entirely different games. In ranked, we just play the meta and ban the meta, but in tournaments, teams are actively studying their opponents, doing highly specific target bans against single players. If my AI learned from pro data, it would start suggesting these weird hyper-specific drafts that would require a 5-man team on voice comms to actually pull off. It would throw out all the logic out of the window for a normal game, so I had to change and train it purely on regular ranked data so it actually survives the chaos of solo queue. But even after switching to ranked data for the drafting logic, this AI still has one major problem: patch updates. Because the model heavily relies on statistical data to make its decisions, it essentially goes blind the moment a new patch drops. If a hero gets heavily nerfed or a new item completely breaks the meta, the AI's old data is suddenly useless. So every time Moontoon drops a major update, the tool needs a cooldown period of a few days to gather fresh match data and completely relearn the new meta before its drafting advice becomes reliable again. And honestly, that perfectly sums up where this entire project is right now. It is very much a work in progress and is basically held together by duct tape and glue, and the UI could also use a lot of help. But the core logic actually works and I might want to keep building on this. My goal is to actually refine the math behind the calculation so it's even more accurate and actually build a clean usable interface that doesn't hurt to look at. Anyways, other than that, I would love to hear from you guys. Is this something you guys want to see me continue? Let me know down in the comments, and you can also suggest features which I can add while you're at it. Anyways, thanks for watching and have a nice day.